Father, the Catholic Church is claimed to be a social miracle. However, there is so much chaos, corruption, and division within the Church. So how can that claim that the Church is being maintained in a supernatural way? Doesn't the chaos, corruption, and division go directly against the idea of the Church being a social miracle?
Historically, I don't think so. We think of the pornocracy of the 8th, 9th, 10th centuries, where we had popes who morally they were more than decadent. In fact, one of the popes was actually called a rapist, and they said that no woman, no matter how old or how young, should ever go to St. Peter's. Of course, we know of the 14th, 15th, 16th centuries, where we had again popes of whom we are ashamed. So no, the mere fact that the Church is going through this particular problem is God's way of testing us, and it's reflecting also the world, or perhaps the world itself is being reflected in the Church. So we're going through this because of our sins. So what Our Lady has said in many places, we think particularly of La Salette. And as Christopher said earlier, and also David, that came at the end of his talk, he says that God has given the devil as much rope to hang himself, and the victory will be even more glorious when we see it. So no, I'm not troubled by the state of the Church, because historically the Church has been through things like this before.
This is Cardinal Newman's description of the state of the Church during the Arian heresy. There was a temporary suspense of the functions of the ecclesia docens. The body of bishops failed in the confession of the faith. They spoke variously, one against another. There was nothing after Nicaea of firm, unvarying, consistent testimony. For nearly 60 years, there were untrustworthy councils, unfaithful bishops. There was weakness, fear of consequences, misguidance, delusion, hallucination, endless, hopeless, extending itself into nearly every corner of the Catholic Church. The comparatively few who remained faithful were discredited and driven into exile. The rest were either deceivers or were deceived, end quote. Sound familiar? So, think of the history of the Church since then, since the end of the Arian heresy, in which it entered some of its most glorious epochs. So when we say the Church is a social miracle, we say that it survives in spite of crises like this, which would end any merely human organization.